Okay, so I just got done watching this video and I'm just going to react to some of the stuff that she's saying because I think she's a good example of why women's opinion doesn't matter, okay? But anyway, this video is called "The Manosphere Hates Westernized Girls." Let's play it.
Okay, I'll be fully honest with you. I am about 6-7 hours in watching clavicular content in the hope of finding something interesting to say about him, but
The problem is, I feel like I'd be.
All right, so it's not even 10 seconds in, and that's her first blunder, right? So, what she's pretty much saying is that, oh, this content is beneath me, right? I only spent 6 or 7 hours, which is nothing, right? For in terms of research. So right there, you shouldn't even trust what she's saying. But anyway, she's saying this is beneath me. I'm better than clavicular. So she's already coming into this video with preconceived notions, with an agenda, with a bias. Okay, she's not open-minded, so she's focused and tunneled into one objective, which is to say, hey, I don't like clavicular. I'm emotional because he criticizes women, or he makes women be accountable. He exposes women, and so therefore I'm going to make a hit piece. Okay. Next part. Let's see. All right. So this next part is going to expose what the double standard, right? She treats men and women differently.
to nothing new. Clavicular's most popular videos on YouTube are the ones involving some form of speed dating. Those videos tend to be more curated than his long streams where he goes clubbing, takes pictures, and gets surrounded by Gen Z girls drawn to this guy's looks and clout. I don't judge these women for doing so back in my...
Right? So these women can be promiscuous, they can dress like sluts, they can be at the club, they can be drunk, making all kinds of terrible decisions. They can, as she says, be drawn to clavicular's clout. So basically, what is it? Hypergamy and being gold diggers. But in her own words, she doesn't judge them. Women can do whatever the fuck they want. They don't have accountability. Right? Oh, but if a man so much as decides to criticize a woman, that's going too far, right? And check out this next part.
My day, some of us would queue for hours to get a picture with the Abercrombie.
So this pathetic bitch would queue for hours to get a picture with a random dude? This kind of reminds me of those women who are in relationships and they pay hundreds of dollars to go on these dumb fuck music festivals like I forgot what was it, Chris Brown or some other dude. They go and they make out with these random people just because they're celebrities. It's pathetic, right? But anyway, let's just continue. All right, so over here she kind of has a Freudian slip. Listen to
I was
this.
born and grew up in France. I'm probably the worst type of westernized girl. French women have their reputation. We are ruthless with men.
Okay, let's listen to that again.
Westernized girl. That's me, I guess. I was born and grew up in France. I'm probably the worst type of westernized girl. French women have their reputation. We are ruthless with men.
Yeah, so it's common that a lot of women take pride in saying that they're ruthless with men. They like competing with men. For us, it's not personal, right? Also, I want to add that the sound of her voice is very annoying. I don't like how French sounds in general. Okay, so this next part, she's going to attempt to explain what is the westernized girl.
So I started this research by trying to find the oldest references to the phrase westernized girl, or at least references to comparisons between Eastern and Western girls. From that research, I can say that there are 3 historical contexts that promoted the use of that phrase: European travel literature, colonialism, and globalization.
Okay, so none of this is relevant, but I'm going to entertain her, okay, because I think it's kind of funny. So we'll go one by one, and I'll tell you why it's irrelevant and it's dumb that she's even bringing this up, okay? Um, okay, so
As I was researching, a name came up a few times, Pierre Loti. In 19th century France, travel writer and soldier Pierre Loti incorporated fictional elements into...
okay, so basically the extent of her research is this. She's pretty much using fiction, specifically fiction written in the 19th century, which is 200 years ago. And she's kind of saying, oh yeah, this guy has this limited view about the world, and he says that the Eastern women are exotic. It's dumb for me saying it out loud because she is using something that is irrelevant. Why would you pick fiction and why would you pick something that's 200 years ago? It doesn't make any sense. Okay, so help me understand this, because her second point is colonialism, and she's talking about how, the strategy back then was creating an us versus them paradigm, East versus West. The East is unknown and exotic. And then she shifts into talking about fashion. Let's take a look here.
For example, in many Asian cities, the local middle and upper classes took on Western styles and aesthetics. The Japanese moga and the Chinese modern girl were parallel icons of urban modernity in the 1920s and 1930s, and were both portrayed as westernized, fashionable young women who embraced new foreign consumer lifestyles. The Japanese moga emerged slightly earlier in Tokyo, modeled closely on American flappers and embodying individualistic rebellion.
Alright, cool, but what does this have to do with anything? Right? There's no connection. See, this is women being self-indulgent, and they're saying, oh look, I'm so fancy doing research. Therefore, I have authority, therefore you should listen to me, and I can brainwash you. This actually works on women. Alright, so this third point is globalism, and she focuses on mail order brides, pretty much criticizing men for the passport bro phenomena. They're like, oh yeah, these men, they go overseas because they're looking for more traditional women, but women always fail to question, okay, were they forced into these marriages? No, the women were very aware of what they were doing, right? They were marrying for money. They were marrying for status. Right? That's the key point here. They make it seem like, oh, these Western men just travel overseas, they're taking all the women, and then they're not giving anything in return, right? The exchange is very clear. The guy gets a more quote unquote traditional woman, and the woman gets more money, right? These women, they don't have to work. A lot of times they get the passport or the green card rather. They get a house. They live at relative luxury for what they could have otherwise had if they had married locally. I mean, come on. Okay, so she's done yapping, right? So she talked about colonialism, globalism, and what was the other one? It was 200-year-old literature to try to explain what westernized girl, or specifically what clavicular was referring to, or maybe the manosphere is referring to. And she's just yapping, right? Just everything that I told you before, just throw it in the garbage because it makes no sense. It's irrelevant. I'll tell you what he means when he says westernized girl. It's this modern woman who is entitled, right? Who thinks that she deserves to have a six-figure job, just sending message on TikTok, or right, like doing advertising or getting coffee or all this dumb shit. She thinks that she should be accepted even after being ran through. You know, it's the modern woman that is brainwashed. That's what they mean by westernized girl. I mean, come on, it's just that easy. The fact that this girl doesn't know something this basic lets me know that she doesn't know what she's talking about. Right? All these women, they get triggered and angry with the manosphere and red pill and black pill. They don't know what the fuck they're talking about. This bitch literally just pulled research from 200 years ago. What the fuck does that have to do with anything? I mean, come on. Okay, so this next part, she talks about where she does her research, right? So basically, she goes into manosphere forums. Who actually thinks that the average man thinks like these forums? These forums are basically exaggerations, right? They're the fringes of the manosphere. They're the fringe of the conversation as a whole. You know, whatever you see in the forums is never a one-to-one representation of what you see outside in public, right? And they're obviously going to be exaggerations, right? Because that's the nature of the beast, right? That's the nature of social media and posting on these forums. The most mundane and normal takes are going to be ignored, and what's going to rise to the top? The most extreme takes, right? Because controversy is what makes people fired up, and they want to contribute, they want to post more. So, but anyway, let's listen what she has to say.
Obviously, an oversimplification born out of manosphere forums. I've spent quite some time on those forums, and it's clear to me that these often young men's understanding of women is limited to tropes.
Yeah, so instead of actually talking to guys, having a long form conversation, which is leagues better, if you're actually interested in understanding them, but no, she decides to go on forums. Come on.
That can be traced back to media representations in films,
Also,
TV, fiction.
do you guys honestly trust her into properly digesting and analyzing what these forums have to say after all this bullshit research that she just did, talking about 200-year-old literature? Get the fuck out of here.
And video games. Now, despite not really fitting the image people have of guys on incel-friendly forums.
So right there, right? Again, all of this is biased, right? 3 IQ takes. So basically, it is what women say is like, oh my god, these incels, they're 50, 300 pounds, neck beards, right? That hate women. They're dangerous. This is what women think. They don't know what men are. That's the problem. You know what contact these women have? They only have contact with Chad and Tyrone, right? That's all.
Clavicular's view of women is very similar. He denies being part of the manosphere, but is connected to it in every single way.
There is an association in the press with looks-maxing and the sort of right-wing manosphere. Do you agree with that?
I've collaborated with like people who say like edgy things, but that's my brand. It's like I really don't care. Even if I were to hypothetically be right or left wing, it wouldn't change the fact that looks maxing is apolitical.
Yeah, so he just explained it as clearly as possible. He says looks maxing is apolitical. Like, what part of that do all these boomers, women, and blue pill simps not understand? Right? Looks maxing is apolitical. It's just that simple. Why are we even having this conversation? Okay, here's another thing that really pisses me off, and I hear a lot of women say this only online. Listen to this.
Very interesting about the fetishization of like Slavic women.
Right there. Like, who? Where? What? Like, what are you talking about? What do you mean? No one's fetishizing Slavic women. Right? If a guy just says, "Oh, I'm attracted to this girl," that's fetishizing Slavic women. Get the fuck out of here. They just think they're attractive. That's it. That's literally it. There's nothing else. Most guys only care about a woman's attraction because that's the only thing that they have to offer. Right? Like, take this girl for example. Do you think that if let's hypothetical, let's pretend I'm attracted to this girl. Do you think that I would be, or any man would be interested in her because of her dumb fuck research? Because of her stupid brain rot opinions? She can't make a simple connection. Right? It's not going to be because of her personality. It's not going to be because of her opinions. Right? So, of course, that's the only thing left. Oh, we see a Russian girl. We think she's attractive. End of story. All right. Listen to this next part here.
Man about the possibility of being green card maxed by this young Polish woman, implying that he has the upper hand. He has the nationality he thinks Slavic women like her want. The young women, on the other hand, seem a bit shocked by what's happening to her.
That's funny because I don't know you before I go in this place.
And you just learned about me when you came here.
Exactly.
Okay.
But that doesn't seem to bother Clavicular so much.
All right. So seems like you're a little nervous, but okay.
On the other hand, when
All right. Well, this probably wasn't good context. Basically, you have this Polish girl and Clavicular saying, "Hey, I have to be careful because, Eastern European women are known to just be gold diggers and swindle American men for their green card." Okay. And this girl, like, these women, they always think that they're so superior. And I wonder, right? I would like to ask, do you think that particular girl there managed to get all this exposure, come to America, be on this show because of her personality? Because of her takes? She doesn't even know how to speak English. Come on. Let's be real. So I don't know if I should put this in, but this is just an example of just her lack of reasoning and logic. Okay, so the woman is going to be reaching and jumping into assumptions with this conversation, okay, in this analysis. Okay.
Your idea of a first date?
I've never actually genuinely had a good one ever, to be honest. I've never really gotten asked out in person ever in my entire life. But I would
You got kind of an intimidating look to you.
Thank you.
No, I did raise an eyebrow when I heard this. This interaction was perfectly normal. She replied to his questions with complete sentences.
Glazing
she shows
over
a
here.
decent sense of self and looked quite serious, but fun nevertheless.
Look quite serious, but fun nevertheless. How did you get from her talking about, no one's ever asked me out? How did you jump to that conclusion? Right? Is these women are glazing other women. They're like, oh, she exists? She must be better than a guy. And then the other thing is she's saying, she thinks, Clavicular said, you have an intimidating look. He didn't say that he personally thought that she was intimidating. Right? He's aware that most dudes are beta blue pill simps, and they would be intimidated because they don't really understand that she's just, she's fucking retarded. That's the problem.
That this interaction makes Clavicular think that she's intimidating is revealing of how little confidence he and other guys like him
That's
have in
funny.
themselves. So what he likes
That's fucking
in the
hilarious.
Slavic women he met is primarily the fact that they don't have the ability to challenge him or even form a full sentence in English, not because they are dumb, but because they just don't speak the language fluently. The rest is projection, projecting the stereotypes Daria was talking about on.
See? Oh, projection. Oh, he's insecure. What the fuck are you talking about, bitch? What the fuck are you talking about? It's crazy. These women are fucking crazy. Alright, so here's I thought this part was funny.
Tastes. Okay, so now we have a better understanding of the phrase westernized girl. Westernized refers to both a consumerist, capitalist form
Gold
of
digger.
femininity coupled with an egalitarian attitude towards relationship.
Egalitarian. So what was it?
Of the
Fuck.
phrase westernized
Let's
girl.
look at it again.
Westernized
So by consumerist capitalist, she means gold digger, and by egalitarian attitude, she really means ran through slut. Okay, and this is a beautiful example of women just yapping, right? Just say that. You don't have to say this. You know, these women are elitist, right? They love what is it? They're pretentious. They love sounding smarter than what they actually are.
refers to both a consumerist, capitalist form of femininity coupled with an egalitarian attitude towards relationship. In other words,
Okay.
the alliance of capitalism and feminism has given birth to girl boss feminism, for example.
All right, so she's gonna talk about girl boss feminism. Now, real quick, why is it that you have a picture of a woman doing nothing in an air conditioned office, right? Why not have a picture of her, maybe roofing in 80-degree weather, or maybe carrying 60-pound, 80-pound concrete bags, cement bags. Just think about that. Ask yourself.
Example, which empowers only a small percentage of women and keeps the vast majority of them struggling economically under the weight of the capitalist economy.
Yeah, man, like these women are so oppressed, women are struggling. But us men, nah, we get 300 days of vacation, we just get free pensions, we get free money from the government, we get free handouts. We don't work. Men are smooth sailing, right? Lady, this has nothing to do with gender. This part, the reality of it is there's a wealth, what is it? Fuck, let me pause it because I forgot the. I'll just say wealth inequality, whatever. Let's just move on. Okay.
Struggling economically under the weight of the capitalist economy. This form of feminism remains imperfect because it refuses to challenge the system that promotes and maintains the patriarchal norms it is seeking to fight against.
Okay, before she gets into it, I just don't understand it because she's over here complaining about men and the patriarchy and maybe was it wage cap, women earn less, whatever. Just even consider for a second how she makes money or what she's doing right now. You look around her in her room, she has a microphone invented by men. If it weren't for men, she wouldn't even have this. If it wasn't for men, she wouldn't even have YouTube, the internet, right? Men created the jobs that these women bitch about.
What do I mean by that? Capitalism and patriarchy work hand in hand. The free labor or unpaid labor of women has a function in a capitalist economy. It's called reproductive labor, sometimes also called care work.
Okay, but that's probably 50 years ago? And even back then, it wasn't just like, oh, these women like to say, oh, it's just one way, it's free labor. No. You take care of the household, and the guy gets to go out and work, right? It's an exchange. But right now, in these modern times, this isn't even an argument because the women aren't doing any of this shit anyway. So why would you even bring this up, right? All right, so listen to this.
It's not easy. Building a nuclear family when you like people of the same gender as you isn't easy. Yet again, the nuclear family with its set gender roles is the best structure to thrive in a capitalist economy. Actually, if that speaks to you or you want to learn more, highly recommend.
Okay, this, you might just be watching this video by yourself and you're thinking, oh yeah, she likes to read books, and think nothing of it. But you have to understand the implications of all this. Is that this is what I see a lot. Is these women, they'll be like, ooh, look, let me read this book and turn my brain off. You know, just completely follow blindly. Never question anything. Okay? This is why it's so fucking easy to trick women, to indoctrinate them. Is because of this bullshit. It's like, oh look, I'm so fancy. I'm going to be reading a book and it's the end all be all. I don't have to analyze it. I don't have to question it. Just willfully falling into the trap. It's pathetic. Anyway. Alright, this is a little bit of a tangent, but just look how brain dead this girl in the white is.
But were these experiences good? I mean, I'm sure you've...
Good, bad, great, not so great.
Right,
That makes
of course.
You a person.
That makes you...
That builds character.
That character is the problem.
Yeah, so they're talking about relationships, how she had past relationships, and that's a problem because of the framing of it all, right? She thinks it doesn't matter. You can go in as many relationships as you can because in the end, it builds character. How about you build character without having to get ran through, right? It's not a prerequisite. You don't need, oh, the only way that women can build character is by getting ran through. That's a fucking lie, right? The reason, but here's the thing. The reason why it's sadly true for most of these hoes is because they can't think for themselves, right? So they have to go through this grueling process. And you know, it's unfortunate because they have all this baggage. And personally, I'd say stay away. Stay away from these hoes.
I almost want to feel bad for Clavicular. The magazine Jacobin tells me that.
Oh, let's see what the fucking Jacobin magazine has to say. It's laughable. But anyway. For the looks maxer, women are irrelevant except as currency. To buy rank over other men. What the fuck are you talking about? That is not true at all. What the fuck? Undoing these market logics with real love is the only way to liberate the looks maxers from lonely self-optimization. Okay.
That only love can save the manosphere, guys, but that's such a weird take. Love is in effect an emotion. It's like an engine, but it needs.
So if you want to disregard everything I said, that's fine. I highly urge you to listen to this part here. Never, under any circumstance, ever, let a woman tell you what love is. Ever.
Direction, a framework to reveal its potential.
They don't know what the
Jacobin,
fuck they're talking
framework
about.
remains the monogamous heterosexual relationship. So yeah, we go back to where we started. Women are expected to do the care work, to take those guys out of the manosphere and turn them into loving and egalitarian boyfriends and husbands.
See, like this is a framework. It's like women are the champions and you know they're the good ones, and men are these evil looks maxers. You ain't expected to do dick, stupid hoe. Like you not only are you not expected, but even if you were, you're not doing it right. Women aren't doing it. They're actively not doing anything. So I'm gonna read this part here. So we should be moving towards a right to SEX. People should be able to have SEX when they feel they want to. and we need to develop services that meet people's needs without attaching the baggage of shame or criminalization. So let's talk about it. So basically, this is women, and they constantly do this. I don't know why she's blaming men for saying this. This is women pretty much saying legalize prostitution. That's a woman talking point. This is a man. She's thinking, oh, men are pushing this onto women. No, women are the ones who are saying this. Okay, so this is probably the last point that she talks about. It's really cringe. The entire video is cringe, but it's good because it allows him. She exposes herself, right? It allows a man to see, wait a minute, these women are retarded. And the context matters because, one, she's French, right? She's French, talking about clavicular, the manosphere, which mostly originated in the United States, right? So number one, she doesn't even know what the fuck she's talking about because, unlike her, clavicular is living it every single day, right? He's boots on the ground, face to face with the problem. She's in buttfuck nowhere, France, right? And number two is she's a woman. Clearly she's biased. Clearly she's not interested in a genuine conversation. Even if she was, I don't think she has the intelligence to engage genuinely. But whatever, listen to this bullshit.
That further convinced me of what I've just said. It's from a documentary produced by Max Lolom, and it's called High School Radical. Max, a French guy, went to Oklahoma in 20...
Again, like a bullshit, disconnected documentary by some random Frenchman.
16 as a teenager for a
Holy
year,
shit.
and realized in 2020 that a lot of the friends he had made at the time supported Donald Trump. He decided to go back to Oklahoma and talk to these people. He ends the documentary by traveling to meet his former bestie in Seattle. He secretly hopes that...
Right there. You guys catch it?
...at the time supported
Play it again.
Donald Trump. He decided to go back to Oklahoma and talk to these people. He ends the documentary by traveling to meet his former bestie in Seattle.
Seattle? Guys, I know you guys, I've heard people talk about how over it is for people in New York City or Texas. I've heard that there's a lot of STDs going around. Let me tell you, I've only been to Seattle for about a weekend. A long time ago. But let me tell you, Seattle is beta, is the beta metropolis of neutered, whipped, pathetic, blue-pilled simp, soy boy, sissies, right? Seattle is a beautiful example of what, what the United States could look as a whole could look like in another generation.
He secretly hopes that he doesn't vote for Trump and is scared to ask him to present him with the two caps, Harris or Trump, to choose from, as he did with his other friends. So both of them are in the car, and this is what the friend says.
I have always been great, I think, at seeing a middle.
His relationship changed him.
And then marrying a far liberal.
Loved changed him.
I'm a man. Why do I have to say on what a woman does with her body? And that's one of the biggest arguments we have in this country.
He's more moderate now.
But I'm also now more middle. I think you have to be able to see both sides of everything to grow as a person.
And then comes the moment to pick the cap.
Open your eyes and choose one.
Oh, I mean, I have to always support who my commander-in-chief is going to be. I got to do the dance too.
You can't tell me he's not aware that Trump will attack women's rights as soon as he gets into power. We know he did.
Me wearing this and Kolfina seeing it, she's gonna shh. All right.
Take that off. I'm gonna kill you.
Do you, like really, honestly, do you want to be stuck like him? You just know he's whipped. You just know he's miserable. And you might say, some of you might say, oh, well, he has a cute girlfriend or whatever. Guess what? You can still have all that, plus say, hey, bitch, You sound stupid as fuck. No. I'm not going to be, be this, feminized, femboy little, like, you know what I'm saying. Look at this bullshit.
Get out of my house.
Like, everything that these women say pisses me off. Like, she says, oh, get out of my house. Okay, did you do the framing? Right? Did you install all the appliances? Do you know anything about electrical? Do you know anything? Do women create anything in their lives? No. None of it was created by themselves. It was always a guy who created. And then, like, you have these women who are like, oh, I'm this boss nurse. The subject matter, the textbooks are written by men, right? The medical field was advanced and created by men.
It's out.
Thank you.
It's out.
Now, sure, this is just an anecdote, but I think it's revealing of how the work of making a boyfriend or husband side with your rights as a woman is laborious and will
That's the problem. It's not about siding with your rights. It was the objective truth.
need more than a loving relationship. If someone needs to take care of the manosphere guys, the Luxmaxers, it's not women, it's society as a whole. The stereotypes that fit their vision of women, the pseudoscientists who feed their forums, the people who platform them for clout and fail to ask the difficult question or fact check them. It's a collective failure.
Yeah, like, never listen to these hoes, especially this dumb bitch. Right? Not 1 ounce of truth in this stupid ass video.